Hello, and welcome to Poetry and Prose. Today I'm going to be reading the second chapter of my novella, Lady Eveline. The second chapter's title is Setting Off. Approaching the ticket office, an old man was behind the glass. The kind of old man you sense has seen it all before. "Good afternoon, sir," I said pleasantly. "Could I please have one ticket to Aberdeen?" The old man peered up slowly, like a beast being woken from hibernation, his beady eyes magnified by lenses so thick milk bottles could have replaced them. Choosing not to return my smile, I thought to myself, perhaps life has been unkind to him. Perhaps he was having a bad day. "Third class?" His gruff voice resonated out, moving to grab his inkwell, hand already reaching for the ticket. Now I would have been insulted by this, but he was right. I did need to travel third class. Yes, the Lord and Lady had given me enough fare for second, but if I was clever, I could save money to pay for lodging costs along the way. "Yes, please," I said, still trying to keep an upbeat tone, sliding across a solitary coin. "Okay then," he said, not looking up. "Train departs in 20 minutes, departing from platform 3. You reach Aberdeen by nightfall, change at Dundee Station, and be quick about it. The Caledonian doesn't wait for any dreaming young men." He appeared to be proud of this comment, as a small, wicked smile edged across his lips. This took me by surprise. "Sorry, sir," I said. "Why do you call me dreaming?" "It's the look in your eyes, kid," he said coldly. "I've seen it many times before. Packing light, fancy suit. You're fixing for trouble. Yes, I've seen it all before." With that, and giving me no chance for rebuttal, he simply slid the ticket across the marble counter, heading back to stack boxes at the rear of the office. Taken aback, I regained my composure, stepping through the arch of the station before emerging onto the platform. The steam engine, a big, imposing beast, roared fiercely at the front, like a bull that has been worked into a frenzy. The carriages, 8 in total, dutifully lined up behind. The brasswork, polished but dirty from the soot and grime of daily travel. As I walked to the back, I passed a couple kissing on the platform, totally absorbed in their own life. I won't lie, envy shot through me like a thunderbolt. Oh, how I wished I could have felt their experience for just 1 second, to be held, to be wanted. Perhaps then I would have written happier poems, I thought. Perhaps they would all have taken me seriously. Pressing on, through the steam, the people and the baggage, a red-faced porter caught up to me. "Heading to Aberdeen, sir?" I nodded in agreement, always my preferred method if speech isn't required. "Very good, sir. Mind the gap. Floor is slick. Won't tell you why. We'll be off shortly." I climbed aboard, using the brass railing to steady myself. The benches were hard, the heat unbearable, and the noise overwhelming. However, as I settled in, briefcase close by my side, I had only one thought. One singular sentence running through my head. Lady Eveline has taken a particular interest. Why? The thought swirled again in my head. Why? How did the blasted book get up there? My thought was interrupted by the shrill scream of the whistle, followed by sudden jolt as the engine lurched into life. We were off. I tried to watch the scenery, the cold grey buildings slowly melting into green lush fields and dense woodlands. But I was tired, so inevitably I drifted off, slumped uncomfortably against the carriage window. I don't often dream, but this time I did. Visions of a grand castle, a new adventure, and of course, Lady Eveline, who at that very moment, so I was told, waited for me. Me? Who would have thought it? The rest of the journey is a bit of a blur. I changed at Dundee, a chance to mercifully stretch my legs, before back into another carriage, people all about me, while I drifted in and out of slumber. Soon, after many ticks of the clock, the train squealed its way into Aberdeen Station. Doors were unlocked, and I once again stretched my stiff legs. The moon, almost full, was waxing. You can tell by the shape. An old friend once told me it either makes a C or D shape for collapsing or developing. Focusing back to the task at hand, I wandered out of the station, the soft glowing oil lamps adding warmth to an otherwise cold and grey landscape. A porter crossed my path. And just before we go on, this is my illustration of Aberdeen train station back in the 1800s with our locomotive ready to go for the big adventure. "Excuse me, sir," I said. "Do you know of anywhere to stay the night? My train has just come in, and the next train to Banchory isn't due until midday tomorrow." The porter, a young man, smelling faintly of fish and smoke, halted mid-step. It had begun to rain. He adjusted his flat cap as the water ran down his neck. "Aye, sir," he said in an accent I could just discern. "There was a coaching in just down the main street. The Thistle and Lantern. An old lady by the name of Mrs. Dallery Thumple runs it. It's not a big place, mind you, but she makes a good breakfast, and the fire is always made." With that, he turned to point. "Down that way, past the sweet shop. Take the first left. You'll see a sign hanging outside. Weather-worn, but still legible." "Thank you," I said, taking out a small coin to tip him for his kindness. This act bid him to reveal further information. "If I were you, sir, I'd stay away from Anchor Lane down by the quay. People who aren't tourists have a nasty habit of losing their morals and their fortunes." "Noted," I said. "Luckily for me, I have no fortune to lose. However, I appreciate the tip-off." He nodded and vanished into the misty rain. "Good night, sir." Pressing on, down the squelchy, mud-ridden streets, rain now making its way through my suit, I needed to get inside, quickly. On the first left, as promised, was the coaching inn, door slightly ajar. Inside, I found two things. The first was a very pleasant warmth. The second, a small woman knitting, perched upon a tatty chair beside the fire. "Hello. Sorry to intrude so late," I said. "My train has just come in, and I require a place to stay the night." "I should have a spare room made up," she said, without looking up from her work. "Put the money on the table. I presume you'll be wanting breakfast." Doing as instructed, and nodding to confirm my wish for breakfast, she reached into her pinafore and pulled out an old iron key. "There you are," she said. "Don't get too comfortable," a wiry smile forming upon her lips. "Where do I go?" I asked. "Back out where you came. Take the path behind the house. There is a little barn at the foot of the garden. You can stay in the stableman's quarters. He's away this week." "Ah," I said. "So you had no actual room spare, yet I have paid full price." "A woman must always think on her feet, dearie," she said proudly. "I canna go turning money away. Plus, your room has the best view of them all. Natural wildlife." She let out a chuckle. "Okay, I admire your gumption. In reality, I had no choice. You have a deal." "See you tomorrow for breakfast," she called as I left. 7 o'clock sharp." Then, heading out into the rain again, I approached a small barn at the back of the house. Mercifully, there was a little fire for the horses made up already, so I was not fully left to the elements. The thick stone walls offered little more than rain shielding. Spying a straw bed, I readily collapsed down upon it. The world quickly fading into inky blackness. And that's chapter 2 of Lady Eveline. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.